Hello, this is Professor Coder, and this is a summary of the ETL 680 course in October. The first thing that I'd like to point out is the left-hand column over here with the syllabus, the course introduction, the course outline, department information, instructor information. All these are pretty normal. And then we have meet and greet. Now in this particular one here, we have 3 points for this, and I'm asking the students to tell something, but actually in your teaching roles, please share with us your online teaching experience, your role at your institution. Let us know which media tools you currently use to get an idea of where they're at mentally. And also attach a photo not of yourself, but that reflects who you are for our class scrapbook located in Doc Sharing, and then explain in your introduction how the picture reflects you or your life. Now, this is not an original idea of mine. I actually took this from another course that I happened to see and be involved with, and it seems to be something that could be very powerful and create some good discussion. The second thing is the installation Jing application. And in this, I'm sending the students a week ahead by email this particular information, and asking them to go through the training for these 2 video clips that tell about this wonderful application called Jing, and then actually go to this site to download it from techsmith.com, and it's free of charge. Very small file, and it's very useful, and we'll be using that in the 4th week of the course. Then we have the typical course timeline and discussion discussion rubric for the discussion boards, and then the course rubrics, and then virtual office where they can contact me, and assignments, the standards, other resources, and that other resources is actually another application that we've put in here for their interest. And then the writing center, in case they need that, and then a mobile site if they want to get so that they can send things to their smartphones. And I forgot up here the course introduction to, we have a little clever video clip that uses a little application that might be of interest to them for that. And then moving on to Class Live Pro. Now, Class Live Pro is something that they are going to use during this course. I'll try to communicate with them. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to introduce this, but it'll be soon. And then, since this class is small size, we can get together and start collaborating and discussing things, just sort of like a talk session. And then the Turnitin is something that I'm actually using in the course as a tool, and we're going to ask them to not only look at this initially, but then make comments based on that information later in the course. Okay, moving on into the course itself, looking at the first unit of work. First of all, the readings have to do with the text, the Simonson text and its 5th edition, and we'll be giving them some background on history and foundations and technology, the development of technology. And then they move on to a PowerPoint. The whole idea of this first week is to give them a whole background and a foundation, history, and evolution. And this gentleman here, this Dr. Kurt Bonk, is the author of a massive open online course, MOOC, the MOOC courses. And recently I took part in one of his courses, which there was 20,000 students from all over the world, and they created a wonderful document at the end of that, a PDF. And this is a highlight clip from that particular course, and as you can see, he is focusing on trends on the horizon. So he talks a little bit about the past, but then he moves ahead into the future. The first discussion board 1.1 really is a reflective thing on the part of the student where they can actually think about their own lives and how technology is impacting them personally, and give us a little discussion about that, and I'm sure that'll be interesting. Moving ahead into assignment 1.1 on the Foundation History and Evolution, I found two video clips, one from Bill Gates and another one, of course everybody knows him, and then Andrew Gennady. And this video clip from Bill Gates is actually a speech he gave talking about his thoughts on innovation and helping students learn through technology. Andrew Gennady is a bright young graduate from Western MIT program in Canada, and I first heard him from some video clips I saw on YouTube, and I asked his permission to use this clip, and it's a very clever little clip that he designed as a graduate student, and it's humorous, but it does have great content and fits in very well with the theme of Unit 1. Also in Unit 1, I've included an APA test that the students have to take. APA is always a bone of contention with students in the classes, and so I try to get out front and do some proactive things by giving them a test. First of all, they watch this video which I've made that summarizes everything I'm looking for in their papers in the course, all our written papers, and then we give them a test and do some positive reinforcement by giving them 5 points for their efforts. And the test is a master relearning concept where they keep working on it until they get 100%. And that's actually an insurance policy that their papers are going to have the proper formatting in my course. Week number 2 has some very interesting information. It has to do with legal and ethical issues, and up to this point most of the information, even in the text that we have, has been focusing on copyright, and everyone's worried about how they're breaking copyright with the new digital information. So this purpose of this unit here is to bring everybody up to date, and there's a PowerPoint in here that starts us off with the copyright issues in digital media. So this is sort of an introductory thing that they can page through and see. And then moving on from that point, the real meat and potatoes of the unit is in the discussion board 2.1, where we introduce to them the code of best practices for online video and for best practices for video and other media. And when they click on this particular URL here, it will take them to a wonderful site here that has a nice video clip from the Center from Social Media. And this is a group of people that have all gotten together. Here's some of their names here. The Best Practices Committee from all different parts of the United States, and how they've come together and they've created something that would be beyond copyright. They talk about best practices, how they work with principles rather than rules, and another new concept about transformational things that have to do with copyrights. There's another clip in here about the fair use and free speech, and excellent little video clip that they have included there. And here's a clever little video clip that they put together about the remix culture, because remix is a very popular concept within the digital. People are putting mashups and combining all sorts of digital media. And then this is a very important part of the Code of Best Practices and Fair Use for Media Literacy Education, and this goes into the transformational concept and how it's been approved by the court system now, and is in effect the transformational concept, which has led to this new concepts of best practices and fair use. And so fair use is a term that has now replaced pretty much copyright by using these different principles of fair use. And then here's a thing that I've added into the second unit with a matching activity where they can make 3 points, which is just a reinforcement activity based on the concepts that they've heard so far. And moving on, in this assignment, the assignment 2.1, they create a PowerPoint to summarize the accommodations they would make. So we're really talking about accessibility issues here in this particular assignment, the guidelines for accessibility, practical solutions, and so forth. And so I give them a case study kind of approach here, teaching elementary, middle school, or high school. You will also explain how you would incorporate your ideas physically into your course to aid these special needs students. And then base your answers on the Unit 2 text readings and the 3 well-known sources, the Community College 2011 Distance Learning, and Distance Learn Education Accessibility Guidelines for Students with Disabilities in 2011, January, so it's very current. It was created by the Guidelines Task Force of all these different community colleges, and so the students will be using that. And then the guidelines for designing and developing accessible websites by using Microsoft Solutions. Now this is a publication that came out in 2007 by Microsoft Corporation, but it's very full of content that is very useful to the students as far as accessibility and how the site should be designed. And then there's the World Wide Web 3 Accessibility Initiative. They have all sorts of information here about accessibility issues, things that should be done in each of the online courses. And so this is another resource for the students to look at the different parts of an online course. And so the students will, as I said, create a PowerPoint, place the PowerPoint of at least 6 slides in the Dropbox, and as a special accommodation for the deaf, include captions below each of their slides so they get used to actually captioning their video clips that they send to their students. Discussion board 2.2 is worth 5 points, and for this one, this is actually kind of an application of the other assignment. What they have to do is then at least they have to discuss how you will apply what you have learned regarding intellectual property into your own classroom, and then they have to look at these 8 video clips that the Center for Social Media have entered into discussion, and they've suggested that it would be very useful to use these for discussion in classes. And as the students look at these 8 video clips, they consider the following questions: why is this video fair use, and based on the information they've learned in the rest of the chapter, and what specific categories of fair use based on the other information does the video employ, and what arguments can you make for why this video is fair use. And so this is really an application of the other information, and to do this activity they have to look at these 8 clips and then go back and analyze them and pick out at least 3 of them to analyze. So I think it's a very interesting discussion board, and definitely worth 5 points. Unit 3 has the students reading chapters 9, 11, and 12 for the information about assessment. The Unit 3 lecture is a clip from the author, Simonson. It is a little bit outdated information, but it does focus in on the steps of evaluation and how you go about evaluation and assessment. So that's why it's included. Then we come to a thinking discussion board 3.1, where they have to describe from their readings in the text, how is the teacher's role affected in a distance education environment? What happens to the teacher's role, and what are some of the organizational factors that teachers must consider And comes straight from the text. There is a lot of information on that. So this is really based a question based a lot on the text. Assignment 3.1 puts the students back to work again. It makes them assume that they're a classroom-based high school teacher or in some particular subject. You've been asked to redesign your course as an online course. It's been a classroom course and a campus before this. Consider what changes you need to make. Now, this is all based on a California State University Chico rubric, which is an up-to-date, wonderful rubric that was designed by a variety of people. They all got together and created this rubric that has wonderful categories: baseline, effective, exemplary. All the community colleges are doing, not community college, yes, well, the state colleges are really into this particular rubric, and it seems like California State University Chico has really led the way in innovative technology, assessment, all these different categories, and then it makes a wonderful tool to base an assignment on. And so in the course, they have to choose 2 baseline components from each of the 6 categories to write a paper of at least 750 words using proper formatting, explaining their rationale and incorporating each component within their online course, demonstrating the baseline, effective, and exemplary practices for their components. And they can use tables if they wish, or write it out in some other form. But they have to use it like a roadmap for the student course design and evaluation. And so that I feel that by having them choose 2 components from each of the 6, they've got 12 components to write about, and then they have to explain how they would use them. So that's basically the assignment. Discussion board 3.2 actually turns the Turnitin concept back onto the students and make them think about how they would use this in their course that they would be using online. And so they have to describe the university's feedback tool, discuss how online instructors can prevent plagiarism, and they have to take a look at all the information in the Turnitin.com tab, and then they have to describe how they would use it to prevent plagiarism in an online course that they would be teaching. The 4th unit has to do with online community and evaluation and collaboration. And so to start it out, we have a wonderful PowerPoint from Michelle Pagansky-Brock, a leading figure in the online collaboration of instruction.
Thank you for that warm introduction.
And so after the students view that, they will go to a discussion board, and the discussion board will have them take the information from the Generational Challenges video clip of Michelle Pagansky-Brock and combine it with the readings from Chapter 7 to discuss how they would personally view generational diversity and how the students' traits can be utilized in developing effective methods of instruction. So that's basically the discussion board item there. The assignment 4.1 is an interesting one where the students actually have to view a list of 100 best classroom tools, and that looks like that, and there is an entire list of 100 different kinds of digital tools that are available, and then based on that list or another list of some updated extra 100 tools, they have quite a number of tools to choose from. They have to choose 2 of those tools, and then in this list, and then explain how they would use each of them as instructional tools in an online course that they're teaching. and to include the subject area, grade level of the students, and how you would specifically use them to develop a sense of community. They write a 750-word paper using proper APA formatting, and then using the Jing application that they installed in their computers at the beginning of the course, they develop one Jing 4 to 5 minute overview of one application and paste it into their assignment paper, so that when I receive the paper in the Dropbox, that I'll be able to click on it and be able to see their Jing clip of their application that they have selected. These clips will also be sent to the doc sharing, and so that the other students in the class can see everyone's video Jing clip that they have come up with about some particular collaborative tool. And then moving on to the final assignment of the course, the discussion board 4.2, which is worth 5 points. And in this discussion board, they use their experience designing the personal planning chart that they created in the Unit 3 using the California State University Chico evaluation rubric. They use that to evaluate the effectiveness of this course, the ETL 680 course in October. So based on what they learned from the text regarding exemplary practices, share your thoughts, opinions for the effectiveness of this course design, explain their rationale for the areas that score in the exemplary category and any areas that require more attention to be considered exemplary. Support your input with explicit references to the assigned readings and the content of the California State University Chico online course rubric. And consider the following in their response: learning outcomes, accessibility issues, addressing diverse needs, implementing current technology, additional information you would like that was not provided with the rubric evaluation. And so that is their final discussion board, which should be quite interesting to read. I realize that I may have some students with special needs, like deaf or blind or whatever, and so in doc sharing, I've created in the reference material an alternative assignment for disabled students in week number 4. And basically this has them make a PowerPoint if they're deaf, and they can still use the PowerPoint with captioning. I've also added a class scrapbook that was part of that meet and greet, and here it is in the doc sharing. When they select that, then they'll go to the PowerPoint, which will open up, and they can add their information to it. So it looks like this, and they can add the information in here, and then that'll become a discussion item later on. Okay, here's a actual copy of the email that I'll be sending out the week before the course, and then it'll also, most of this will be in the announcements, and then I'll also send a personal copy along with a Jing clip, introductory Jing clip, to each student. So this is an introduction before the course during the week, and telling them what we're going to be doing. This pretty much is a summary of everything in the course. And then before you are able to see the course, then I want them to do these two things here: load the Jing clip and install it on their own machine. And then down here on September 30th, when they can actually see the course, then they should go through these steps here of meet to greet and so forth, discussion board, virtual office, turn it in, and so on. And so that'll be the information that they get a week before, and then most of it on the day of the course themselves.